Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm Damian Hill. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight, we have Pedro Lopez, an undefeated 1-0 amateur, who's getting ready for a fight this Saturday for Pier FC, going down in what city in Wisconsin?
Oshkosh, Wisconsin.
Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Trash Talk is brought to you again by Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo out in New Brighton, Minnesota, Origin Wellness CBD, Spartan Martial Arts, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, The Fighters, and TJ's mom. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing good, and I'm glad that you were able to squeeze in some time with us, especially during fight week. I really appreciate that. I hate bothering fighters while they're making their weight cuts. But I really wanted to have you on. I was actually at your first fight, and you had a really impressive performance, some very dominant wrestling ability. Where'd you learn how to wrestle?
Well, I mean, I started wrestling at La Crescent when I was about, I want to say like 9 or 10. I was like 4th or 5th grade or something. And yeah, I just wrestled all throughout elementary school, middle school, high schools. Wrestled varsity 7th grade all the way up to senior year high school. And then I wrestled at RCTC for 2 years for college. So I think in total I wrestled about 10, 11 years or so. So yeah, it's been a big part of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, man. One of the things that I was actually talking with Jake Clip about, the owner of the promotion that you're about to go fight for, when at the last LFA, is that wrestlers have a really high learning curve when it comes to switching over to doing jujitsu. It's like the grappling, there's no belts in wrestling, but with 10 years of wrestling experience and collegiate level too, I would have to say you're around a black belt in the wrestling department. Have you been able to translate the jiu-jitsu along with the wrestling? And is that something that you just knew that you were going to work on, while you were wrapping up your wrestling career?
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't even, I guess I didn't really think about all the jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I thought I could just go into MMA and just oh yeah, I'm just going to fight. I don't even need to worry about jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And then after going to Ironworks and everything, I was like, oh wow, I really need to learn jiu-jitsu. So that has been a big part of my training. Jiu-jitsu and obviously with the boxing, Muay Thai and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess with jiu-jitsu, the jiu-jitsu coach, Fro, I'm sure you guys know him. He's one of my corners. He used to wrestle too, so everything I do is it's kind of wrestling based, and he breaks it down. He's like, oh, you can do this in wrestling, but with jiu-jitsu you got to adjust it this way, and then it just all makes sense to me, So I remember when I first started jiu-jitsu, it was kind of hard, but to now it's kind of, it's gotten a lot better. So
yeah. Man, okay, this is not even a question. I'm thinking about what I said for my first question, where'd you learn how to, or I should ask you, where'd you wrestle at, and tell me about your wrestling experience. I'm like, where'd you learn how to wrestle? There's a guy, went to this guy's house and he told me. No, I had to call myself out on that. But you mentioned being able to translate or to transition your wrestling into what's appropriate for jiu-jitsu, and also picking up the jiu-jitsu. How do you feel the transition is going for you? Do you feel really comfortable on the ground with, I don't know, a high-level jiu-jitsu practitioner?
Yes and no. There's certain, when I'm on top and I have the back, obviously it's really, what's up?
What's high level? I meant I don't even know what I meant, but yeah, I'm high.
Oh, you're good, man. You're good.
No,
I get what you're saying though. I guess so. I don't know. I am pretty comfortable jiu-jitsu and stuff like that now. From when I first started, I was being on my back was abnormal. I'm like, dude, I gotta get off my back. I have to get to my belly. But then when you get to your belly, you're exposed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it was kind of rough right there at the beginning. But now I'm getting a lot more comfortable being on my back. Being in certain situations where in wrestling you would be you'd be pinned or you'd lose. But now it's just the transition's going pretty well now. They're breaking everything down for me. It's going good.
Oh yeah.
And you're able to pick these things up. You're able to pick the things up and translate it into your style here. just kind of a question on my end. I mean, obviously you started wrestling, like you said, 10 years old. When did you make the decision to actually want to get in a cage and fight someone with 4-ounce gloves on? Was this something that you kind of always had in the back of your mind, or did the wrestling naturally transition into MMA for you?
I mean, I guess you could say that, yeah, the wrestling kind of transitioned into the MMA for me. I mean, I've always kind of paid attention to UFC. I mean, since I started wrestling, I kind of paid attention to that. I've always heard like, oh, wrestlers make good fighters, this and that. And then like, when I was younger, I guess you could say like 12, 13, I always asked my parents like, hey, can I be in boxing, this and that? Like, no, we don't want you to do that, because they didn't really know much about it. I mean, so, and I made the decision when I was about 19, I think. I started what was like, well, this is going to be my last season wrestling. I don't know if I'm going to wrestle again, all throughout college. Just 2 years is good enough for me. And I made the decision before season started, and, just kind of went from there.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I think you're making a pretty smooth transition. After your first fight, I was able to see that one, and you looked really good in that fight. And fuck, I kind of lost my question again. Oh yeah, I remembered it now. Going into this next fight that you have this weekend, what do you know about your opponent, and what type of fight are you expecting from him?
I guess I don't really know. I mean, he's taller than me. That's all I really know. He's taller, same weight as me. I mean, everyone I fight, I know at this weight it's going to be taller. And I think he's a jiu-jitsu guy, but I'm not really sure. But, so.
Okay. Do you know how many fights he's had?
I believe Eric told me he's 1-0.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I'm climbing up, not facing guys with the similar record, and then also I guess different attributes when it comes to size or body length and everything.
Yeah.
What weight is this fight actually taking place at?
Featherweight 145. I think that's right. 140. It's at 145, but I think it's featherweight.
Okay, yeah. I don't even care about the names of the weight classes. I always mess it up anyway, because I fought at fucking 30 fucking weight classes between boxing and MMA. It's like, it's so stupid. But yeah, 145 is where the fight is at. And TJ saved me. I forgot my question.
Yeah, so I mean, you mentioned always having to fight guys that are a taller base. This guy, he's kind of a jiu-jitsu player. What type of fight are you expecting this Saturday? Obviously, at only 1-0, we're going to expect growth from you compared to your last fight. But what kind of fight are you expecting, and what type of fight should the fans expect this Friday on Leap Day? It's February 20, or excuse me, this Saturday Leap Day on February 29th.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be entertaining. I mean, I heard his last fight was pretty good. He actually I think he knocked the guy out, TKO or something like that. So I mean, I'm expecting to go to the ground. I'm expecting it to be, I'm expecting a lot out of this guy. I'm not blowing him past me at all whatsoever. I'm not looking past him. So yeah, I mean, you guys can expect it to go down to the ground for sure. Especially if he is a jiu-jitsu guy, and that's where I'm most comfortable at too. But if we need to be on our feet too, I can hang there too. So, I mean, I guess I don't really know. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about the fight. It's like, if we knew who was going to win or exactly how it would play out, it wouldn't be worth watching, So, like, to go out there and know that you can expect him to be ready on the ground, but then also know that he might not. He might do something completely different. You can't, and like you said, you can't look past him. And I think you're doing the right things. I mean, fuck. I lost my question again, dude. I really got to stop smoking weed.
So you had your first fight back in September. We've talked about it now. Great performance, first round finish. Starting early this year in February. Are you looking to stay more active here in 2020, or is this just a fight that fell into place for you?
I mean, I was gonna fight again in December for it was December 7th, and I want to say Menominee, maybe. I don't really remember where it was going to be at, but I broke my rib, so that kind of set me back a little bit. I was hoping to fight, in December, and then fight again in like February or April, but that injury kind of held me back a little bit. And I was going to fight again in January, then I couldn't find anybody to fight, so then February popped up, and I was just like, we'll take it. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to get in as many fights as I can, but at the same time, though, I want to take care of myself, making sure I'm taking care of my body, because I want to do this for a while. So, yeah.
That's very wise of you. You have some amazing people over at Ironworks. Who have you been working with? More often getting in preparation for this fight.
Main people I really roll with is it's Garrett Carlson, Gary Conkle, Olivia B. Scout. Olivia, she's really good at rolling. She's helped me out a lot. She helps me, just like anytime we're in a certain position, she's just like, hey, you got to do this. You got to move your hips this way, that way. So, she helps. She's a big help. And then Fro is a big help as well as Ammerman. Ammerman really teaches me, he's really showing me, like, I guess the ropes, I guess you could say. He's really showing me how to, like, transition from being just a wrestler to, like, an actual mixed martial artist. So, yeah.
You definitely have a good guy helping you with that. I mean, he was able to do it himself very impressively. So
For sure,
yeah. I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah. Fucking.
Yeah.
I mean, before we wrap this up tonight, we always like to give a chance for you to shout out your sponsors or anybody outside the gym and outside of the team that maybe has been showing you a little bit extra support and things like that. Platform's yours.
I guess just shout out some of my sponsors, Murphy's Frame and Axle in La Crosse, Wisconsin, Advertising Concepts, and then Strength, and Pineland Lumber. Thank you guys for sponsoring me, and then also too, just shout out to everybody who's helped me along the way, and the Ironworks family as well. So thank you guys.
Oh,
yeah, that's great. Have such a good support. Excuse me. Have such a good support team behind you this early in your career. Obviously, a lot of veterans at Ironworks to show you the ropes. I'm excited to see the growth and the performance here this weekend. Best of skill to you. That's February 29th, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, Pure FC. Be there or be square. And then don't forget to subscribe to Trash Talk with Damien and TJ on YouTube right now. And don't be a hoe.